Hello, I'm John Cotgrave, Artistic Director of Dick Lottie, which is a Huddersfield-based company, and we work on the plays of Alan Ayckbourn. And this season, really excited to bring you two of his plays, Improbable Fiction at the end of September on the main stage, and then in January, just in the new year, we have GamePlan, which is the first of three plays in the Damsels in Distress trilogy. Improbable Fiction was written in 2005 and was a gift from Alan to the Stephen Joseph Theatre to celebrate their 50th anniversary. And it was based on an experience that Alan had when he was invited as a guest speaker to a writer's circle. And Improbable Fiction is a response to that. So it's a play of two halves, actually, because the first half, these would-be writers gather at Arnold's house 10 days before Christmas, each of them trying to write their own book. One's writing a historical romance, a children's story, a musical on Pilgrim's Progress. And they gather each month and they talk about their progress, or lack of progress in some respects. And what Alan very cleverly does is, in the hour of Act 1, he lays all these comic traps. And then in Act 2, which is, well, it's difficult to explain what Act 2 is, but in a sense, it's an hour-long farce where all these comic traps go off one by one, and it really leaves you laughing out loud. There's so many belly laughs in it. It's a really good night out. GamePlan is quite a dark piece. It was written in 2001 and was intended to be just one of two plays, and it explores the explosion of the dot-com era. So Lynette and her daughter live in a very, very posh flat in the Docklands, and they're broke because their dot-com business has gone to the wall. They are absolutely broke, and they even face the prospect of moving to the north. And Sorrel, her daughter, decides to help her mum out, and she goes on the game. She creates her own dot-com business to sell her body, inviting gentlemen of a certain persuasion into the flat, but it all goes terribly, terribly wrong and almost becomes quite farcical, but the underlying themes are really quite dark. And then Flat Spin, which will be later in the year, followed by Role Play. It's the same set, the same cast, but a different story. So each of the three plays are linked, with the same cast, same set, but with three very different stories. And then in the autumn of next year, you'll be able to see all three in a day.